Joining us now with the latest on the investigation is Ottawa Police Chief Stubbs. And joining me right now is Ottawa Police Chief Stubbs. Thank you very much for being with us on this very difficult day.
My pleasure.
I know earlier on at the media briefing you were able to share quite a few details. Now we also know that the suspect has been charged in court. What more can you tell me about the investigation and how it is progressing throughout the day?
You know, it started last night, Mike, at just before 11 o'clock last night, and our team got called a 911 call of a male that was yelling, needing some help. And when we got to the scene, very quickly, our members were able to determine what occurred and identified the suspect, and were able to safely arrest him without incident, which has now led, obviously, to the discovery of 6 deceased bodies, four children included in that, but now charges of 6 counts of first-degree murder and 1 attempt murder charge.
And that suspect, the 19-year-old, what relationship does he have to the family that was living there? I know that there is a type of relationship. There have also been questions about how long he's been living there. What can you tell me about that?
Well, you know, we are only about 16 hours into our investigation, so our focus has really been getting charges laid and him through the court process. We are working and will be working in the next day or two to really drill down on the relationship within the house when he came to Canada, and sort of the background on the accused. So yeah. we have to do in that regard.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, there are a number of people from different families that were living at that house. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's a family of 6, and there was an additional 2 people living in the home. So again, we have lots to unpack in terms of the relationship between everybody, but certainly we have come to ground on a few issues, and one was this was a senseless, violent incident, and truly innocent people were victimized by it.
Yeah, and the gentleman that you said that was screaming out front of the house, that was the father of the children?
Yes, it was.
Okay. I wanted to ask you a little bit about not just the relationship that we'd seen there, but you know, what kind of digging are you going to be doing now? Because we'd heard from the Sri Lankan High Commission come out early talking about identifying them and where they were from. What kind of work is being done right now with the High Commission to really try and drill down on what the relationship was with all of the people there and trying to figure out what has happened?
Yeah, we're certainly going to work with the community leaders, the folks down at the temple, as well as the High Commission. I spoke with the Deputy High Commissioner earlier this morning. We certainly will formalize, you know, sort of our discussions with them and get and exchange information as much as we can. There'll be lots of collaboration with the ultimate goal of more understanding.
One of the things that I think we were trying to zone in a little bit, because at first there was some different information about how this was carried out. And I know you said that it was a sharp object that was used. I mean, can you confirm what the weapon was that was used? Was it a knife?
You know, we just are very careful about the weapon that was used in terms of the integrity of the investigation, but we are saying publicly that it was an edged weapon.
Okay. One of the last questions I wanted to ask you, and I think a lot of people think about this, not only about the impact on the community, but especially first responders. Responding to such an event, what is that like for your men and women and the paramedics who had to attend that scene when you consider the years and years of service that some of these people have had in this community? What have they been able to tell you about what that was like?
Well, you know, it's horrific, and there's no other way to really describe it. There's nothing good to say about that. It's a terrible scene, and I feel for all the first responders, members of our team, paramedics that did and still are responding to that scene. But you know, they're professionals, and they do an incredible job. And I'm extremely proud of the team, of the frontline responders who, despite what was going on around them, were able to focus and arrest the accused. Our homicide unit, which is second to none, the work that they're doing, our forensic team, carefully, they'll be in that residence for a couple days trying to make sure we collect the best evidence. Our dispatchers that have to take that call and dispatch all the members and see that unfold, is difficult for them too. So really proud of the team. They delivered for the community in terms of getting us there quickly, arresting somebody, and now processing the scene. But it's difficult, and we got to provide them supports in the days and months to come.
And what about some of the supports for the community as well? Because I'm sure people in that neighborhood are hurting and trying to really make sense of all of this today.
Yeah, and you've the neighborhood. It's multi housing. It's very you can tell there's a lot of families on that street, and it's going to greatly impact that street, that neighborhood, and of course the Sri Lankan community and the city of Ottawa. We don't see this type of horrific crime very rarely, and this is a safe community overall. But you get instances like this where you question it. But it certainly is part of our job to support that team. We do have supports in the neighborhood. We're speaking to a lot of people as well too, and we'll work very closely. The communications that we've opened up with the Sri Lankan community today, we'll continue that in the coming weeks to make sure that we're there for them.
Chief Eric Stubbs, the Chief of the Ottawa Police Force, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate this.
You're welcome. Thank you.